Let me be really honest with you. This might sting, but it's the truth you need to hear. You're playing the no-contact game right now, hoping she's sitting at home, heartbroken, panicking, and waiting for your text. You think your silence is making her miss you. But what if I told you that your strategy is built on a lie? What if she's playing the exact same game, and she might even be better at it than you are? That's the part men usually miss. You assume a woman's quietness is a sign of vulnerability or emotional collapse. You think you're in control by withholding effort. But when a woman goes quiet, it's not always weakness. It's often strategic control. She's not emotionally falling apart like you hoped. She's simply mirroring your distance, calm, focused, and watching. She's giving herself the space to get clarity, not to wallow in despair. This is the shift. Silence isn't weakness, it's control. When she matches your distance, she's not submitting to your strategy. She's running a test. She's observing whether you're an emotionally secure man capable of leadership, or just another guy who relies on tactics and runs when things get quiet. In this video, I'm going to tell you the unfiltered truth about what her silence actually means on her side. We're going to break down the 7 tests she's running on you right now. You'll learn how to stop seeing this period as a passive waiting game and start using it to shift the power back, not by chasing, but by moving with a purpose that actually triggers her emotion and attention. If you're serious about getting her attention, you need to understand how this truly works from a woman's perspective. Let's get into the deep mechanics of attraction. We've established the painful truth: her silence is not your victory. It is her control and your test. Now, we move into the mechanics. To shift the power back, you need to understand the purpose behind her every quiet move. You must stop reacting emotionally and start acting with intention. 1. When silence isn't weakness, it's control. Let's dismantle the biggest myth that keeps men stuck. When she stops texting, stops calling, or stops engaging, your default thought is, she's hurting. She'll cave first. Wrong. I want you to wipe that movie script out of your head right now. When a woman who was previously emotionally available suddenly shuts off, she isn't sitting around crying over you. She is cooling off. She is resetting. She is claiming her space and her own sanity. The emotional fuel tank understands this. When a woman feels deeply invested, and that investment is not reciprocated with the clarity and consistency she needs, the pain becomes fuel. She quickly learns the lesson of self-preservation. She realizes that begging, pleading, or chasing only makes her look weak and you look powerful. So what does she do? She flips the script. She mirrors your distance. But this isn't a petty game of tit for tat. It's an act of emotional necessity. Her silence allows her to stop needing answers from you. It gives her the mental bandwidth to step back from the noise and assess the connection without your influence. She's not waiting for you to fix her. She's finding out if she can fix herself without you. The danger zone: self-sovereignty. This is the moment of maximum danger for you. The first few days of silence might be emotional for her, but then she finds peace. She gets clarity. She remembers what her life was like before you became her emotional center. She starts rebuilding her routine, her hobbies, and her sense of self-worth outside of the relationship dynamic. When that happens, you lose the emotional upper hand. You are no longer her central concern. She is becoming her own center. You think you're controlling the situation by not reaching out, but she is gaining real emotional strength in that distance. If you simply sit there assuming she'll crack first, her silence may become permanent. When a woman uses silence with strength, she is no longer trying to get your attention. She is giving it to herself. And when that pivot happens, she doesn't need closure from you. She just moves on. Don't misread the quiet. It's a sign that the clock is ticking and her independence is rising. 2. Why matching distance is a test. And you're failing it. Let's be clear. When a woman matches your distance, it's not because she's submitting to your strategy. It's because she is testing your character. And most men fail this test without even realizing they're sitting for an exam. The filter for maturity, if you initiated the distance, may be to create space, Or because you got too comfortable, or yes, maybe because you thought it would make her chase. She doesn't blindly follow. She observes. Her matching your energy is a filter. It's her way of asking a critical, silent question. Is this man emotionally secure, or is he playing manipulative games? She feels the shift. Women are experts at reading tone, energy, and subtext. She knows when the affection drops off. Instead of pleading for your attention, a woman who respects herself will simply match your energy and give you the space you seem to want. The test you're failing. Most men misunderstand this. They think, great, she's doing what I'm doing. We're both in control. No. She is not trying to be in control of you. She is trying to see if you are worth her effort anymore. If you just keep pulling back without ever stepping up, you're showing her you lack the emotional capacity to lead a real relationship. You're showing her that when things get quiet or confusing, your natural inclination is to disappear instead of communicating with clarity. That is what kills attraction more than anything else: emotional laziness. The unwillingness to take responsibility for your part, and the fear of vulnerability. You might think you're holding your frame, but you're actually showing her that you're afraid to lead with clarity and intention. The opportunity to step up. A woman who matches your distance is giving you an opportunity to show your true strength. Will you call it out and say, "Hey, I noticed we've been distant. I want to reset and clarify where we stand," or will you just let it fade? Real emotional strength isn't about who can hold out the longest in a silence battle. It's about who can stay grounded enough to address the discomfort head on, without ego, without fear, and without waiting for her to crack first. If you're just matching her silence without intention, you're not passing the test. You're proving her right that you lack the courage to lead. 3. When she goes cold. What she's actually feeling inside. When a woman goes cold on you, it can feel brutal. It feels like she's heartless, detached, and never cared. This is where you need to apply the most radical truth. When a woman goes cold, it's usually because she cared too much. The slow burn to numbness. A woman does not shut off her emotions like a light switch. That coldness is almost never the starting point. It is the end result of feeling ignored, misunderstood, or emotionally unsafe over a period of time. It's a slow burn that turns into numbness. Women process feelings through connection, tone, and energy. When you go quiet, when you're inconsistent, or when you're emotionally unavailable, those seeds of doubt plant themselves. Did I do something wrong? Has he lost interest? Is he just keeping me around? If those questions go unanswered long enough, she will emotionally withdraw to protect herself from future pain. That is when the coldness shows up. She's not trying to punish you. She's trying to survive the situation you created by your passivity. The wasted warmth. The warmth she was offering felt wasted. It felt like she was pouring her energy into someone who didn't truly see it or value it. And here's what's confusing. She might still answer your texts. She might still be cordial. But the softness is gone. The emotional sparkle, the genuine excitement, it's dimmed. What's happening underneath is emotional fatigue. She is tired of guessing how you feel. She is tired of having to lead the emotional connection because you won't. She's silently concluding, if he really wanted this, wouldn't he show me instead of making me question everything? The time is borrowed. When a woman goes cold, it's a critical sign. It means your lack of effort. Your emotional unavailability or your passive approach has finally caught up to you. You are now on borrowed time. The worst thing you can do is act like nothing happened. The second worst is to try to fix it with a big, quick gesture, like a sudden bouquet of flowers, when what she really needed was steady emotional presence all along. If you want to warm her up, stop trying to charm her. Show up with clarity. Show her that you finally get it, not with words, but with a changed, consistent behavior that proves you see and value her emotional investment. 4. Why silence doesn't mean she's done. Yet, I need to clarify one of the biggest misunderstandings men have about women's silence. It does not always mean we're done. From your perspective, when we stop calling, stop texting, and stop showing up, it feels final. But that's not always the truth. A woman's silence can be two very different things. Sometimes it's the end, but sometimes it's just space. The pressure transferred during that space. She is not waiting for a grand apology. She is watching, quietly and privately, to see what you do without her voice in your ear. When a woman pulls back, she's not necessarily gone emotionally. She's just tired of chasing clarity and tired of having to explain her needs. She's tired of asking, "Where is this going?" Or, "Why do I feel like I'm doing all the work?" Her silence is her way of taking the pressure off herself and putting it squarely on you. She wants to see if the connection meant anything to you beyond convenience and comfort. She wants to know if you feel her absence, or if she was just another option easily dismissed. The only way to find out is to step back, stay silent, and see what rises to the surface on your end. Silence as an invitation. This is not always manipulation, it's self-protection. When a woman goes silent, it's usually because she has been loud in every other way, emotionally loud, verbally loud. She's dropped hints and asked for reassurance, and nothing changed. So now she's quiet, not because she doesn't care, but because she's waiting to see if you do. This is where most men fail. They mistake her silence for rejection, double down on their pride, and stay quiet too. Without realizing it, they confirm her worst fear that the connection was one-sided all along. Feminine silence isn't always rejection. Sometimes it's an invitation to step into leadership, to show emotional strength, and to prove that you see her without needing to be told what to do every step of the way. Many women won't come back until you pass this test because they need to feel emotionally safe with a man who leads, not a boy who hides. 5. How emotional control turns the power dynamic around. Let's get to the core of where your power lies during this period: emotional control. This doesn't mean bottling up your feelings or pretending you're a stone wall. It means choosing how you respond instead of reacting instantly from panic or ego. The dependency drain. When a woman feels like she has complete emotional power over you, that your world falls apart just because she hasn't texted back, attraction fades. She stops feeling drawn to you and starts feeling responsible for you. Once that happens, desire dies. If you're wondering what to do while she's silent, this is it. Get your emotional control back. Not for her approval, but because you are a man who values his inner center more than her external reaction. You don't chase. You don't spiral. You don't send guilty, passive-aggressive texts. You get quiet and composed. She notices this. She's testing what kind of man you really are without her influence. She wants to know, does he become needy and break down, or does he take this silence like a grown man, with calm, clarity, and strength? The power flip, that shift in energy, changes everything. When she realizes, he's not chasing me, he's not blowing up my phone, he's not even reacting, a subtle, powerful thing happens in her mind. She thinks, did he detach? Did he move on? That moment flips the emotional power dynamic. Now she is wondering what you are thinking. And that is when curiosity creeps in. That's when the urge to reconnect starts. Not because you played a trick, but because you showed you don't need her to regulate your emotional state. You are self-contained. Emotional control is what separates high-value men in every situation. It means you respond with purpose, not emotion. You lead with clarity, even when things are uncertain. 6. Why doing less can get you way more. I know this goes against every instinct you have. Your mind screams, if I don't reach out, she'll forget me. If I don't show I care, she'll move on. But that desperate energy doesn't pull her closer. It pushes her away. The over-investment trap. A man who does too much when she's silent ends up looking like he doesn't value himself. And women pick up on that energy instantly. When you over-text, over-apologize, and over-explain, you are putting her on a pedestal and putting yourself on your knees. That does not inspire love, it inspires distance. When I say do less, I mean be intentional. Don't take action just to soothe your own anxiety. Don't make moves out of fear. Let the silence do the heavy lifting. If there's ever a time to let your absence speak louder than your words, it's now. The clarity of inaction. Women notice the shift when a man stops reaching out. They feel the silence. And if there was any part of her still emotionally connected to you, that quiet will get loud in her mind. She'll start to wonder why you haven't checked in. She'll start replaying things in her head. You are now taking up emotional space without doing anything. Here's the wild part. When a woman is genuinely unsure, your inaction creates more clarity for her than any conversation could. Why? Because it lets her sit with her own feelings without you trying to steer them. That's when she starts questioning her initial choice. That's when the pull begins. Men who do less, who stay centered, who don't chase, end up looking powerful. Not because they're playing a game, but because they're not controlled by emotion. And when she sees you have that emotional discipline, curiosity turns into attraction again. The flip side, if your silence makes her move on, then she was already gone. You didn't lose her, you just stopped delaying the truth. But if she is still emotionally tied to you, your silence has the power to pull her in more than any words ever could. Own the space. Let her come to you. Let your lack of panicked action create the pressure. Let her wonder if you're even still available. Because in that space, she either chooses to reconnect, or she reveals she was never truly invested. Either way, you win. 7. It's not about winning her back. It's about respecting yourself first. Let me give you the final, unvarnished truth. If your only goal during this period is to win her back, you are approaching this from the wrong, losing mindset. Chasing her isn't strength. Obsessing over her next move isn't clarity. Waiting around hoping she'll finally realize your worth is not power. It's passivity disguised as patience. The insecurity-drained women can sense when a man is rooted in himself and when he's just orbiting around her. When you do everything with the intention of getting a reaction out of her, it's not love, it's insecurity. And that's exhausting for both of you. You have to flip the focus. No contact is not a trick to manipulate her. It is a mirror showing you exactly where your self-respect is. If you're sitting around all day checking her last seen time, reading old messages, and spiraling, ask yourself, what are you actually doing to become the kind of man she would regret losing? The training ground, this silence is your training ground. What are you doing with it? Are you rebuilding your energy, drive, and focus at the gym? Are you reconnecting with your purpose, your mission, and your goals? Are you investing in yourself emotionally, mentally, and financially? That is what creates magnetic energy. That is what women feel, even through silence. And it's also what makes you feel powerful again, even if she never returns. You cannot build anything real with a woman when you are not solid in yourself. You cannot show up with strength when you are still depending on her attention to feel whole. The final declaration, if she does come back, and women often do when they feel this powerful shift, don't lose your grounding. This is not about trying to be good enough for her. It's about becoming a man who is deeply aligned with himself, with or without her. If you don't respect yourself first, no woman ever will. This entire process is not about getting her back. It's about getting you back. Once you do that, you will stop chasing anyone. Conclusion and reclaiming your power. Let me leave you with this final, decisive thought. If you are still checking your phone, still hoping she'll come back, you've forgotten who the real prize is. It's not her, it's you. A woman respects and feels drawn to a man who doesn't chase her, because he is too busy building something magnificent that she would be lucky to be part of. The moment you stop making her the emotional center of your world, that's when the shift happens. That's when she starts to feel the true emotional power you've reclaimed. You are not doing no contact to get her attention. You are doing it because you know your time, your energy, and your peace are not things you give away cheaply. So, if she's also doing no contact, let her. Let the silence speak for both of you. Let it be the space where you rise, not wait. She is not the prize, you are.